So I wanted to share with you guys some time saving tips for this art project. Because I mean, this Mario, for example, just to say what I have here, this picture of Mario I made, it took like maybe like 3-ish hours for me, but that's because I already knew how to do it, right? And I don't want you guys spending your hard-earned vacation time on more of it than you need to on this. So I have a couple of like little, well, they're not cheats, okay, but they are some things that I hope will like save you a bunch of time. Um, so here we go. So I've gotten this like still life image off of the internet, right? And let's just get started with this. So let's say I want to use some graph to trace the outline of this bottle. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, you know what? It kind of looks like the curve of a cubic, right? Of a cubic function. So here's what's cool. On the right here, I've got this little cheat sheet of all of the shapes that we know how to use. So instead of having to write like, y equals x cubed, blah, 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 and then having to like, okay, figure out where do I put the plus thing and then slide this around. Okay, instead, here's what I'm just going to do. I'm just going to copy paste. I'm just going to copy paste from my cheat sheet and then add the sliders. And now it's ready. Okay, so I've already got my sliders ready to go. And now I can start fitting this in. Okay, so let's see here. Well, no matter how tall I make this, I can't really stop it from being like kind of flat near the middle there, but that's okay. This is art. It doesn't have to be perfect. So here's a pretty good, I think that this curve here traces out the outline of the bottle fairly well. And so now all I have to do is replace my numbers in my equation, right, with the numbers I just found from the sliders. And there we go, right? And now the numbers are locked in, like all of you should be. And I can reuse these sliders later, so I don't even need to hit X on them. And like, let's say here, okay, well, this is a pretty good approximation of the curve of the bottle, but let's say I want to, maybe I want to cut off the top and cut off the bottom for where it reaches that orange. Well, I've got another piece of my cheat sheet here too, right? So I'll just copy paste that. Whoops, copy paste that. See, maybe it's not a perfect cheat sheet, but that's okay. And now, right now I can fiddle with my sliders to get the points that I want. So this is a little bit hard to see. Let me change the color on this so that it's easier to sort of distinguish. How about there? Yeah? Okay. And let's make it a little thicker so it's easier to see. So there we go. Right? So I've changed my sliders now, and now I can cut off the graph where I like, and look at that. Now I can just copy paste my cutoff points into my cheat sheet as well, or the inequalities for my cheat sheet. And there we go. Oops. Let's see. Maybe I want that a little higher. Not 1.8, but maybe let's go back to putting in the slider. So let's go over here. How about that? Aha. Great. 5. So negative 5.5 to 5. Awesome. All right. And now, well, I can just keep these sliders around. What's next? Let's do this orange down here, because then we can do the lemon behind it, and I can show you maybe how to cut off the lemon, or cut off like an ellipse, like in parts here. So let's do the orange. Okay, so the orange is, okay, it's a circle, obviously. So like, let's find where my cheat sheet is for the circle. Aha, I've got one for a circle or an ellipse. Okay, so let's put it down. Boom. And let's add another slider there. And now, again, I'm just going to modify the picture here. Oh, you know what? Let's just modify the opacity here to maybe 0.5. There. Now it's a little easier to see. Okay. And now let's mess with my sliders until we get what we need. So maybe I want to bring it down a little bit. So let's fiddle with this one. Okay, it seems like the right height. Oh, that's not the one. I want to position it first. Let's position it first. Then slide these around and there. Oh, this is looking better and better. There we go. Maybe bring that down a little bit. Maybe there. Which one was the widening one? Let's see. Is this the widening one? No, this is the talling one. This one was, I think, turning wider. There we go. Looks pretty good. Maybe I can make it just a little taller. Ah, there we go. And now, look at that. I've got my orange. The shape of my orange is pretty well on exact. So now I can just copy and paste my numbers. So negative 1.9 in for A. Oh, let's make sure that if it's a negative, we put in our parentheses, right? 1.1 in for B. C is 1.9. Whoops. And then D, negative 7.2. And there we go. And bada bing, bada boom. We've got our orange, or the shape of our fruit anyway. And I can change the color of this to whatever I want. I think it makes sense if this one's an orange one. All right, nice. Let's try doing this little lemon behind the orange, because this one's going to take a little bit of finagling, because we have to kind of cut it off. We don't want it to we want the orange to appear in front of the lemon, right? So let's make a new equation, right? And let's use our circle again. Let's use our circle ellipse again. Okay. When I do that, the sliders are already set where they were before, so it's just going to graph over it again, but that's fine. Now I can fiddle with the sliders again, and let's just kind of bring it to where we need it to go first. I like to deal with the location first, and then deal with the shape. So here, maybe something like this, and that looks pretty good for the lemon there. Okay, but now I've got a problem, because I don't want the lemon to sort of appear in front of the orange. I don't want them overlapping. I need to cut off a part of the lemon, but hang on, right? If I try cutting off like the right side of the lemon, like I want to cut off this whole arc here. Well, if I want to cut off the right side of the lemon, okay, I'll use my left-right cutoff little cheat here. Okay, actually, first let's get our numbers in. So B equals 0. Let's do C equals 1.5 and D equals negative 6.6. So we lock that in. Nice. Okay, but now I want to cut off the right side of the lemon. So if I try doing this, I'll take my cutoff cheat here and try this. Okay. What happens? Well, oops, let's try this. Okay, so now I can try and cut off the right side of the lemon. So I don't really care about the left side. But then if I try and cut off the right, what happens? Well, I'm gonna to delete the top part as well, and I still want that, right? So, well, what am I gonna do? I still need that top like slice of the lemon there. Well, why don't I just take this, right? Why don't I just lock these numbers in first? -3, and let's see, negative 0.6. And then why don't I just take this equation and just make another one? Why don't I just make a second lemon right on top of the first one, right? Because now I can just cut off the bottom part, right? Let's say y is less than -5. Let's say -5 less 0.3 less than y. Aha. And now if I close that up, together my two ellipses create the shape of one ellipse kind of looking like it's behind the circle there. And now if I want to, I can just change the color here. There's no yellow, but if you look on the tutorial that I linked on our project topic page, you can actually see how to enter your own custom colors into Desmos, okay? So that's a way we can create that lemon shape there. What's next? Let's do you know what? Let's do the picture frame because I feel like part of a still life is like this frame, right? So I'm gonna want like two horizontal lines and two vertical lines. Okay, well, luckily a horizontal line is pretty easy to make, right? It's just going to be y equals a. And now I can use my slider to like adjust it down to where I want. And I think it's kind of obvious that's -10 there. So -10, no need to that in. And I think if we use that same idea, I can see that the top edge is y equals 10, right? And now let's see, I can use my left-right cutoff cheat here to, you know what? I think this needs a slight edit. Now, if I use this cutoff, I think it should work. Okay. So if I do a left-right cutoff here, nope, didn't work. All right, that's fine. So C less than or equal to X less than or equal to D. Okay, so that one's not as easy to just copy and paste. I'll have to try and figure a workaround there, right? But okay, so let's just cut it off. So like let's go down here and see what's a good C value to cut off at. How about there, I guess? Yeah, it looks good. So -7.2, maybe -7.3. There we go. -7.3. And I'm guessing D is going to be +7.3. Yep, that looks pretty good to me. So now I can go ahead and replace these C and D values with -7.3. So copy, copy, paste, copy, paste. And I think that kind of makes sense that I can just do this for the top part as well. And now I've got my frame almost ready. Let's do some vertical lines to kind of complete the frame. So let's do our vertical line cheat code here. Put that right there. And now I can fiddle with the slider to position it exactly where I want. That looks good. So -7.3 kind of makes sense because that's where we cut off our horizontal lines there. And now I want to cut off the top and bottom, right? I'll cut off the top and bottom. So let's do that. Let's take our top and bottom cut off here. And now we can fiddle with the slider until that's where we want it to go, right? So -10, I think -10 up to +10 makes sense. So -10 all the way up to +10. There we go. And I think if I just copy and paste this whole thing into a new and maybe make +7.3. Oh, there I've got my right-hand side of the frame as well. How does that look? Oh, that looks a lot better. That looks a lot better. Okay. All right. So what's next for this picture? Oh, how about a horizontal line? Oh, maybe it's slightly slanted, but let's use a horizontal one because we want to use lots of different functions for this. How about a horizontal line for this like little cutoff here between where the wood meets the wall, right? So what's our horizontal line equation? Well, let's just go over to my cheat sheet, horizontal line. There it is. Copy and paste it. And let's mess around with my slider again. Okay, so D is a slider there. Oops. Huh. Okay, it actually might be a little bit slanted, but that's okay. And let's just do it in points. So let's just do this little section here on the left first, because I want to make sure that it doesn't slice right through the lemon on the left there. Okay, so what's my D value is negative 6.6. Copy and paste that in here. And then I want a horizontal cutoff. So let's do this. A less than or equal to X less than or equal to B. That's my horizontal cutoff. And let's figure out where we want to cut this off. Oh, negative 7.3. I guess that makes sense because it's the edge of the frame there. But then this is a pretty small little line. Okay, how about here? Negative 6.8, I guess. That looks good to me. Boom. So let's put that in for our B. Let's put boom. Let's put that in for our A. Okay, and now we've got our little bit of the horizon there. Okay, for the next piece of wood here, what if I make, what if I make a slanted line, right? So instead of using a pure constant function, let's use a linear. That way we're getting lots of different kinds of functions in here. Okay, so there's my function, and now I can kind of give it the right slope that I want. Oops, let's slide it around to where I want it and then mess with the slope. I think it's very slightly lower, less than 1. Let's zoom in a little bit. Yeah, I think I need to want to bring it down maybe just a tad, 7.1, maybe 7.05. Ah, that looks pretty good. Okay, I think that's kind of hitting where we want it to go. So what's my A is here, negative 0.1x, and then D, put in negative 0.7.05. Good. I can kind of clean up the equation a little bit, although it's not a huge deal if you don't. Okay, and now we want like a horizontal cutoff. The little lemon part is bulging out there. That's fine. Okay, let's do a horizontal cutoff of this line here. So how about from maybe here to here? Well, let's just use our sliders. So A less than or equal to X less than or equal to B. Let's let our sliders just deal with it. So maybe over to there. And then my right side, let's go to maybe there. How does that look? Nice. I like it a lot. Okay. So our A we'll put in at negative 3.4. And for B, let's put it in at negative 2. And there we go. Okay, cool. And now you can kind of see the picture starting to form. Cool. Let's put in our little lemon there on the left. So I think this lemon looks a bit more like an ellipse or maybe a circle, right? An ellipse is just a stretched out circle. Okay. So what I can do is just add this and okay, let's just fiddle with these for a little while. So B, whoops, let's put B over there. D, I think that looks okay. Let's make it smaller. C, uh-huh. Uh-huh. So my A and C are actually reflecting across here. And let's bring it down just a tad more. It is kind of looking very circular to me. There we go. It looks pretty good. Okay, and now if I just delete, oh, there we go. So this is starting to look pretty good. I can change the colors later. You can change the colors as you go or change them later, like draw out your lines and then deal with the colors. It's really up to you, right? let's just deal with the rest of this bottle and this piece here of the wall. And then I think that'll be as much as I really need to show you. Okay. So let's see. So the right hand part of this bottle, I want to use another cubic. Okay. So let's grab this cubic here. And you know what? There's so many equations now that it might be useful for me to have a folder. Okay. So I'm going to call this folder fruit. And then all of the equations that I've used for fruit, I can now just drag into my fruit folder, right? So for example, this one, or this one, it's now inside of the fruit folder, right? Oops, I haven't yet, I haven't yet replaced my values. See how much faster it is when I just can copy paste. It's like I have a little paint palette. I feel like I feel like Bob Ross, except not nearly as cool. There we go. Okay, and where was I? Did I need to cut off? Oh no, I didn't need a cut off actually, because I'm using the entire circle. Where was I? Oh yes, I'm putting all of my fruit equations into my fruit folder. Okay, so let's hide my fruit folder, bring my fruit folder up here, and let's just put these inside of the fruit folder. Fruit there, and let's click and drag this one till the line appears. And now all of those are in my fruit folder. And you know what? Let's make another folder for my frame. Okay, so there's my frame. And let's take our four frame lines. So which one was that one? Ah, yes, it was the vertical line here, this vertical line here, this horizontal line here, and this horizontal line here. And now I can just close that and nice, beautiful. So it's just gonna help us declutter this list over here on the left. Right? What was this again? This was my bottle, and oh, this was part of my fruit as well. So let's just put that into my fruit folder as well. There we go. Sweet. Okay, let's do one more. Do another piece. Where was this again? Ah, yes, this was my line. This was my boundary between the wood and the wall. Maybe I'll put another folder here. Wood, wall, boundary. And let's put these in that folder there. Boom. Boom. This is going to save us a lot of time trying to have to look around for whatever, equation we want. All right, let's put in another cubic because I think our cubic did a pretty good job of doing the side of that bottle there. Okay. Let's put it there. And now we can just adjust our thing here. I want to make this a nice, easy to see color just for now. I can change this later. For now, we'll change it so it's easy to see, easy to contrast with the rest. And then, okay, you know what? I want to flip it so that the bottle's facing, because the bottle's on the other side. So let's do it that way. Let's bring it over there and let's move this over to the, oops, move this over to the right. There's no C in this equation, so it's not going to do anything. Let's move this over to the right. And, oh, there we go. Nice. Okay. I mean, again, it doesn't really like perfectly fit the bottle, but you know what? Maybe in our still life, the bottle is a little wider at the base instead of being perfectly straight like it is. Okay, I like that. And let's lock in our numbers with copying and pasting. -10 for there, 5.4 here, 0.4 there. And let's do a vertical cutoff. Right, so here's my cheat sheet. Unfortunately, seems like we need to do the bits of it ourselves, but that's okay. All right, and now let's just see where we're at with this cheat sheet there. And then for our bottom, let's go right there. No, let's go there. Okay, and then we can do like kind of the bottom of the bottle like that. Okay, that looks good. I think I just want two more pieces, two or three more pieces. Let's do the bottom of the bottle as a parabola. Okay, so let's throw in another. Oh, I need to lock in my numbers first. And then what did I want as the right side cutoff? B was 5. Okay, great, no problem. Let's just copy and paste that in there. How about a parabola? Which one is that again? It's my quadratic. So I'll copy and paste there, and then boom. Let's fiddle with our function until it looks right. Oh, I think we're gonna have to go with an even flatter parabola. Okay, that's no problem. We can deal with that. And like instead of 0.1, what if I had 0 point like 1, 0.03, 0.02? Ooh, that looks pretty good. 0 to there, maybe move it just a little bit and up just a tiny bit, and that looks like a good size for me. Now, what do you think? I like it. Okay, and now um let's just maybe move it up a little bit so there's no gap there. Perfect. And now I let's do a horizontal cutoff so we can just take this middle bit here, okay? So let's do another left to right cutoff. I think I'm gonna have to get rid of these equal signs. Um, the cutoff doesn't really do anything. Oh, let's lock in our numbers first. Yeah, gosh, keep forgetting. So B is 3.9 and D is negative 8.2. There we go. And I can clean up my equation a bit, right? And what's interesting is that the equal signs don't really change the look of my cutoff, really, right? But what it does do is exclude the points at the end. And so you'll see if I click this point here, it'll be like, oh, well, that's undefined because, it doesn't actually include the points at the end because of our restriction. And that can be like, good or bad. Like maybe I don't want dots to appear on the intersection here, but sometimes I like to know exactly what the endpoint is. And so that's what putting an equal sign helps us do. So now when I put an equal sign in, now I can know that the y value there, for example, is negative 8.1758 or something like that. Right. So I like using equal signs in my cutoffs, but frankly, they're not actually going to change the image of your graph. Okay, so now I'm locking in my numbers. And that looks pretty good. And now if I get rid of my still life, oh, that looks there. Right, nice. And I mean, you could do the second bottle. I know that it's a little bit faint, right? If I change this opacity back to 0.9, you can see it there, but I'll leave that for now. I'll leave it for you guys to figure out. And let's just cap this bottle off and cap off this piece of art. Oh, let me add one more thing to the boundary here. Let's do another equation. We'll add it to the wood wall boundary. So how about y equals, do another horizontal line. Let's change this down towards here. That looks good. There. And let's just do another horizontal cutoff. Oh, let's just get it done a little bit more. There we go. And we'll do another horizontal cutoff. And this time I can make use of my how powerful desmos is. And I can just see that like, oh, okay, the 2 points there are 6.3 and 7.3. So let's do 6 0.3 less than x less than 7.3 and kind of put that there and boom, like easy, right? And of course, that little red line that I made just now is part of our wood to wall boundary. And so I'll put that in my folder. Remain nice and organized. Perfect. All right, let's cap this off with just the tip of the bottle there, and I'll let you guys get to your own projects. Okay. I think I'll use an ellipse for the top of the bottle there for the lip. Okay. So let's use an ellipse again. So let's grab my ellipse equation here. And oh, all right, a little big there. Let's make it small. Oh, uh-oh. Well, there we go. That's me forgetting to put my wood wall boundary again. Remember that? Negative 7.3. I think that's what we said earlier there. Okay, so there. So let's fiddle with my sliders again. Put it right in the right position. So here, B and D seem to be affecting where my graph is actually located. And A and C are what changes my, oops, are what changes my width and height. Oops. Okay. So C, and then let's make C real small. There we go. Bring it down a little bit so that it's kind of resting on top of the bottle there. Boom. Okay, let's lock in our numbers. 0.6 for A. Let's put 4.1 for B. Put in 0.4 for C. And then 5.3 for D. And I don't really need to cut this off because I'm using the entire bottle. And now I close my image and there we've got it. There we've got like a nice, simple little piece of still life art. So I hope that helped. I hope that this cheat sheet helps you. I'm going to take this cheat sheet, right? And I'm going to upload it to the topics page of our MyWT. Okay, so if you want this cheat sheet on your own, you can download it from our class page. In fact, I'll even show you right now where I'm going to put it. I know that there's no school. Boom. Right here on our topics page, putting it on right now. Okay, so I hope that helps. Get some work done and enjoy your break.